Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, shalom to my Akim, YAHAWAH who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawa coming at you with another lesson. And, well, first off, Acts chapter 17. Verse 11, these were more noble than those in Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind and search the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. And today's topic, we're going to be going into this book, well, not necessarily the book specifically, but the topic of basically verifying if certain information is valid or not. And the reason why I'm doing this lesson, because recently I've seen that a lot of people tend to just say random stuff on the Bible, which primarily the main inspiration to do this lesson comes from Christians, where they just say when they're trying to debunk Israelites, they basically just say stuff. They just say like, oh, God's for everyone, God's for this and the third, but they never have any scriptures to actually back it up, especially when Israelites have already debunked their universalism. All right. So with that, we have this book of the demonology book that was written by King James, and there's lots of different not necessarily controversy, but propaganda that's been surrounded by King James, saying that he's a homosexual, he's this and the third and whatnot. But yet there's so many things that just constantly disprove what they believe. On top of that, there was this one person I remember seeing, I forgot where, but people were saying that because King James wrote this book Demonology, okay, which I have a Wikipedia page on it, where it's demonology, where it's spelled a bit differently, but it still says the same thing. But basically with that, it's with this, basically people are saying that, okay, well, as a result of this book that he wrote, well, King James was a warlock, all right? So, where this is just not true. And if you actually look in, well, firstly, I'll read this and then I'll let the video play. But basically, what the book begins with, We'll read it here. The fearful aboundings at this time of this country of these detestable slaves of the devil, the witches and the enhancers, hath moved me, beloved reader, to dispatch in post this following treatise of mine, treatise of mine, to resolve the doubting, both that such assaults of Satan are most certainly practiced, and that the instrument thereof merits most severely to be punished. So basically, King James is writing this book, or making this book, or publishing this book, in order to, number one, to affirm that yes, in fact, demon attacks and demonic entities are in fact real. And number two, there are people that do practice these types of demonic witchcraft and sorceries and stuff. So that's another thing he's trying to affirm. And number three, basically warnings and trying to reaffirm that this type of stuff is to be taken very seriously, and it requires well, in his words, punishment. All right. So let us actually watch this video and learn a bit more on it. Okay, so let's let this play.
Did you know that King James wrote a book on demonology and witchcraft? That's right. The guy who who basically commissions a new version of the Bible. This is 1611. That is the first edition of what would be called the King James Bible. 1611. Before this, 14 years before this, he publishes a book on demonology and witchcraft. Why? He didn't like witches. Why? He thought they were trying to kill him. In fact, if we go to the preface of his book on demonology and witchcraft, this is what he has to say. This is how he is justifying the need to print this book. He says, the fearful abounding at this time in this country of these detestable slaves of the devil, the witches or enchanters, hath moved me, beloved reader, to dispatch in post this following treatise of mine. And then he goes, Such assaults of Satan are most certainly practiced, and we need to put an end to it. So, about 2,500, mostly women, were put to death that were accused of witchcraft during the reign of King James I. The guy who's involved with the Bible does a book on demonology and witchcraft. Tell me what you think in the comments. Did you know that King James wrote...
All right, so there you see what he said. He basically agreed with everything that I said, and I'll admit that this is the first time that I'm actually watching this video because I was not able to listen to what he was saying or read or just watch the video in general. When I first found this, all I saw was demonology, and I remembered something. I remember the person that I heard that was trying to say that, oh yeah, this demonology thing that King James wrote, that proves that he was a warlock. When you don't need to be a part of something in order to be knowledgeable on something. It's like that's like saying that just because someone knows about cars, that means that they are a mechanic. All right. I was about to say something worse, but it's fine. But that's fine. We'll just stick with that. So yeah, it's like these are the things where that you see, and people are constantly trying to like find some way to discredit the Bible in some way, shape, or form, where it always goes back into, oh well, we don't want to follow after the words of YAHAWAH and MANASHAH because, oh, the Bible is written by man, the Bible's done this, the Bible did that, blah 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 blah. All right, so again, as I said previously, there is the fact of the matter of people listening to one person or one thing from someone literally saying something like as if it's a fact. Okay, they're making a statement, and then because people hear it on the internet and whatnot, they just think, okay, well, the person must have done the research, and that person must be telling the truth. That person must be stating a fact. When in actuality, there are so many people on the internet that are just saying things out of their ass, and they don't actively do any type of research, or if they do actually do research, is misinformed research, as I've seen plenty of research come to improper conclusions. All right, so continuing on, let's get some of these things, because the funny thing is that the Bible actually does contain some stuff on demonology, demons, not demonology, but because I didn't read the demonology book, but it has some ways on telling us how to deal with demons, which I actually made a lesson on this a long time ago. And let's just start with this. 1 Samuel 16 verse 16. Let our Lord now command thy servants which are before thee to seek out a man who is a cunning player on the harp, and it shall come to pass when the evil spirit from the Lord is upon thee that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And that's just one instance in the scriptures that told us how to deal with demons. I also want to get this while I can remember, and frick, bear with me. Is the internet okay? Okay, so let's go back into this. Matthew chapter 17 verse I want to say 19. Verse 18. And Yahweh shall rebuke the devil, and he depart out from him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then the disciples came to Yahushua apart and said, why could not we cast him out? And Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. This is another way. And the last one I'm going to get into, well, it's like you have harp music, as well as, of course, the internet is down, so Yahawadah won't be able to get other things. But the next thing, where is it? Here. No, it's over here. Luke chapter 11 verse 18, if Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub. So basically, this is another thing where Yahawadah was being accused of removing demons through the authority of Beelzebub, which is which is a demon. All right. So as a result of that, they were accusing him, and Yahawadah was basically correcting them and saying that I'm not removing them, or he wasn't removing them from a demonic through demonic power, or it was through Yahweh's heavenly powers that he did it. And there's a difference between right hand and left hand, or the power of Yahweh and power of demons, even though Yahweh has power and authority over all. All right, so continuing on, it is with this. Okay, verse 19, and if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore shall they be your judges. All right, so over there you see, because there was another instance in the scriptures. All right, it's in, oh my god, I can't get it now, Slocky or whatever, but in Acts chapter 13, I think verse 17, there was some poser exorcists that tried to exorcise demons, but they couldn't. Okay, so as a result of that, they just basically got murked, and I'm pretty sure they died as a result of their improper exorcist type ways and whatnot. All right, so they basically were put to death by the demons as a result of them not actively trying to follow after the ways of Yahawadah. All right, so let me see if I can try to get it now. After that, maybe it's not Acts chapter. Okay, bear with me one moment. Slovakia. It's Acts 19:13. It's a good thing I had that open at time, but I didn't have the actual precepts out. Acts chapter 19 verse 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Lord Yahawadah, saying, we adjourn you by Yahawadah, whom Paul preached. And there were 7 sons of Seva, a Jew and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahawadah I know, and Paul I know, but who are you? And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out the house naked and wounded. And this was known to all the Jews and Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus, and fear fell on them all, and the name of the Lord Yahawadah was magnified. So because over here you see that there was this poser, this Jew that had said, oh yeah, I'm an exorcist, I'll do this, that, and third, blah blah blah. And then as a result of him actually not being a part of Yahawah's teachings and not following Yahweh, he basically tried to handle a demon, and when he was actually put in the situation, and he was he basically got put in his place and got hurt. He didn't die, but he got beat up, and he suffered for him not being a proper follower. And as a result of that, also we have to take note of verse 15, where the evil spirit said, Yahawadah I know and Paul I know, meaning that there's the demons, they acknowledge the power and the recognition of Yahweh and Yahawashi, but they don't acknowledge the power of they don't acknowledge the power of just some random, or it's like they acknowledge Yahawashi being the son of Yahweh, and they acknowledge Paul as being a follower of Yahawashi. So as a result of that, they also would acknowledge modern day prophets in the event of stuff that happening. And when it comes to this stuff, it's like if you it's like encounter a demon, okay, if you are a proper follower, then they are basically going to back down in certain ways. And if you are in the right spirit, if you're properly on fire and whatnot, or on a certain level, then that's when they don't try you, they back down, and it's just like a certain level of respect towards you, in terms of like not messing with you. All right, as if, again, only if you are a proper follower and you're on fire on a certain level. All right, so continuing on, so that this is a more and more stuff on the demonology thing, where this supports, where it's just like you have these people that try to say things against it, say King James, whoever, and the Bible is about demons, stuff like that, and the Bible has always been against demons, and it's always spoke and told us how to even handle demons on our own. Even Yahawashi said prayer and fasting for one. There was another instance where King Saul, I believe, I think we just read in 1 Samuel, who needed a harp player to get rid of it. Okay, Exodus chapter 22 verse 18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And this is another thing where even King James was saying that he put, or the guy had said that King James put 2,500 plus people that practice witchcraft to death. All right, so as a result of that, this is where we're at right now, where we're not supposed to be partaking and in being around any types of demons or people that practice some sort of demonic practices. All right, so continuing on, Mark chapter 5 verse 10, and he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. And verse 7, and he cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with thee, Yahawashi, thou son of the most high Yahweh? I adjourn thee by Yahweh that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, what is thy name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country, that there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding. And all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. And forthwith Yahawashi gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. There were about 2,000, and they were choked in the sea. So basically, Yahawashi had dismissed the devils into a swine, and then the swine with the devils in them went to the sea and basically unalive themselves, or they just killed themselves basically. All right, as a result of that. So this is an example, another example of some sort of proper exorcism through Yahawashi Slakia. And the thing is with this is that with Yahawashi's authority, he barely had to even really do anything compared to the other instance where he said that this demon doesn't come out through prayer and fasting. It was just primarily through Slakia. It was just primarily through his authority and his position, in the kingdom of heaven, that these demons just decided, let's just kill ourselves over here over here, instead of, trying to, messing with Yahawashi. And in that same sense, when we have much authority, being joint heirs with Yahawashi, then we are also able to, not abstain, what's it called, to deter demons away from us as well. But of course, there's a difference between, us basically deterring demons and us having to go through certain hardships. All right, so next, Ephesians chapter 4 verse 14, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the slave men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. And this is Slaki, I should have brought this out earlier on. Basically, as I said before, everyone today that has, some sort of camera or podcast equipment is just giving their opinion and making statements as if they're facts, and pushing it off to everyone. And so many people are following after literally any doctrine there is, and being deceived at an astounding rate. And with that, this is where we are at right now, where people really are too lazy to actually do any amount of research and search, because there's so many different YouTube videos, there's so many different avenues of information, libraries, websites and stuff like that, articles that you can just check to see, okay, let's see, is this information right? Is this factually backed by some sort of statistical data and whatnot? And because of that, people, or does the Bible actually say that? That's one of the bigger things, where you have these Christians that say a bunch of things, and maybe a Christian, maybe another Christian that hears it, they might say, yeah, that's basically what I was taught. So this person saying this might solidify the things that I say, but you're not, as it says in Acts chapter 17 verse 11, search the scripture daily whether those things were so, where you have to actually dig into the scriptures to see, okay, is this actually the case? Is this what it actually says, rather than, okay, well, I'm just going to believe this person because, oh, this person is online, they have 1 million followers, they have 1 million whatever. All right, and I think I read this before. Yes, I did. So with that, praise system was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, SHAMAIWAN, BANYAMAN, and the apostles, great millstone, above the ball, and Shalom.